Good morning. This is Pastor Larry from El Shaddai Christian Assembly, located in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Our address is 1448 Greenwood Street, and our zip code, like I said, it's Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Our zip code is 19150. Our phone number is 215-927-7188, and you can reach me via email directly at pastor.theletter@gmail.com. So definitely appreciate you. And this channel, if you've happened to get here by accident, is the letter L space Shaddai, SHADDAI.Philly. So thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it. And this is probably my 7th installment of where I've been talking about have we been lied to. And I wasn't sure if I was going to have another one, but I pray and listen, and this is what came up to me. But one of the things is I've been mentioning about lies. You could lie to yourself. Other people could lie to you on purpose. It could be because you have partial information, omission, commission, and there's another characterization of a lie, which is it doesn't always have to be verbal. For example, if you were to come up, I could show you a picture that could be a lie. Like, for example, if I came up and I said, do you know which way the person went? And I shake my head, no. I didn't say anything, but I just lied because I saw which way the person went. Or if I pointed in the opposite direction than the way they went, I would actually be lying to you because I actually was giving you misinformation on purpose. And and here's one thing I want to mention as well is that a lot of times when you do lie, you have to make up more lies or bring in more lies to help support the lie because it's faulty. And Yeshua, our Messiah, said that Satan or Hasatan is the father of lies, and he's liar from the beginning. And so I want to put that out there, that if it's a lie, it's not coming from the Most High God. It's not coming from Yahweh. It's Genesis is in the enemy and in his territory. It's not from Yahweh's kingdom. So, but again, I want to put that out there, and you're like, okay, he's setting us up. And another thing is, if you didn't lie, you wouldn't have a problem. When you tell the truth stands by itself and for itself. Yeshua, the Messiah, said, and I'm going to read it in John chapter 8. I'd like to read that just so we can get established with that. In John chapter 8, if you turn to that, John chapter 8, I'm reading from the Berean Study Bible. And in verse 30, it says, as Yeshua spoke these things, many believed in him. So he said to the Jews who had believed him, if you continue in my word, you are truly my disciples. And then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. That was verse 32. The truth does something to us. It does something with our guidance system. The word produces life and faith. Yeshua said in John chapter 6, he said, the words that I speak to you are spirit and life. So the words that are truth come into us, and they bring life. And so we want the truth always, if we want life. And it says the words are spirit and life. It also says in Romans that the word produces faith. And it says the just shall live by faith. So I want to put that all out there, that it's all about the truth, and we want the truth. And so let's turn to Revelation chapter 1. Actually, I want to turn to Exodus chapter 20 first. Let me turn to that first. Exodus chapter 20. A lot of times we don't read all this, but this is where Yahweh is through Moses is giving the Israelites the 10 commandments. I'm going to start verse 1 through 5. It says, and Yahweh spoke all these words. I am the Adonai, your Elohim, who brought you out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of slavery. You shall have no other gods before me. You shall not make for yourself an idol in the form of anything. Anything is in the Greek and in the Hebrew means anything. It says, you shall not make for yourself an idol in the form of anything in the heavens above, on the earth below, or in the waters beneath. And you shall not bow down to them or worship them. For I, the Adon, your Elohim, am a jealous Elohim, or I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on their children to the third and fourth generation of those who hate me. So we're not supposed to make a form of anything. And we're going to turn to Revelation. You can turn to Revelation. I'm going to show you a picture in a second. But we're not supposed to make a form of anything based on what that word that we just read, of anything that's in heaven above or the earth beneath. Yet, this is what we are giving of which he's in heaven. Not this person, but the Messiah. But this is it says we shouldn't make any form or image. We shouldn't bow down to it either. Yet, we are given this consistently. Like I said earlier, I said, if you didn't lie, we wouldn't have to contend with this. Revelation chapter 1, verse 14. It says, the hair of his head was white like wool, as white as snow. And let me just show you a person whose hair is woolly. This is woolly hair. It's a lot of hair, isn't it? But anyway, just showing you that. It says his hair was white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were like a blazing fire. His feet were like polished bronze, or it could be copper or brass, refined in a furnace. That word refined is puro. It means to burn or burn. And so I got a picture of some burnt copper or brass, and this is what it looks like. Can you see it? Hopefully you can. And yet we're given a picture, and here's the thing. Yahweh said through Moses, don't make any images and things which are in heaven and all. However, this is Yeshua describing, showing through John. It's describing himself. This is John in the book of Revelation being describing Yeshua, who he's seeing. Who John was very intimate with Yeshua. He's the one that leaned on his shoulder or on his lap. And so John would know who he is, and John is being allowed to describe what he looks like. And yet we're given competing images of what he's like. Why am I saying this? The reason why I'm bringing this up is because if you didn't lie through your images, remember I said a lie can be also something that you can see and not just hear. And if you're showing us one thing which you shouldn't even be showing us, because that's what Yahweh said to Moses back in the book of Exodus when he was given the 10 Commandments. Don't make any image of anything. And so we should really have no image. We should just let the word just describe, and then people go on with it. But by putting that out there consistently and then doing things as a result and treating people a different way as a result, because you use color to decide instead of to describe. So we're in this position of having to explain on the one hand and having to show on the other. One is explain your lies, the other is showing the truth. And I'm showing the truth right now, which is this is what it says. And then let's turn to this in Revelation chapter 4. The book of Revelation chapter 4. It says, I'm going to read. It says, after this is still John, and he sees, and the caption says, the throne in heaven. After this I looked and saw a door standing open in heaven. And the voice I had previously heard speak to me like a trumpet was saying, come up here, and I will show you what must happen after these things. At once I was in the Spirit, and I saw a throne standing in heaven, with someone seated on it. The one seated there looked like jasper and carnelian, or sardine. And a rainbow that gleamed like an emerald encircled the throne. Surrounding the throne were 24 other thrones. And on these thrones sat 24 elders, dressed in white, with golden crowns on their head. And from the throne, this is the original throne that he's talking about, from the throne came flashes of lightning, and rumblings, and peals of thunder. Before the throne burned 7 torches of fire. These are the 7 spirits of Yahweh. And before the throne was something like a sea of glass, as clear as crystal in the center. Around the throne were 4 living creatures, covered with eyes in front and back. The first living creature was like a lion, the second like a calf. The third had a face like a man, and the fourth was like an eagle in flight. And each of the 4 living creatures had 6 wings, and was covered with eyes all around and within. Day and night they never stopped saying, Holy, holy, holy is the Adon, or the Lord Yahweh Almighty, who was and is to come. And whenever the living creatures give glory to honor and thanks to the one seated on the throne, who lives forever and ever, the 24 elders fall down before the one seated on the throne, and they worship him who lives forever and ever. They cast their crowns before the throne, saying, "Worthy are you, our Adon, or our Lord and Elohim, to receive glory and honor and power, for you created all things, for by your will they exist and came to be." So this throne, the one seated on the throne, is who they're casting their crowns. Let's go back up to verse 3. And he says, the one seated there looked like jasper. This is the one on the throne. Again, we're not to make... would be jasper. And sardine or carnelian. Look at the colors of these. They're look like more like me. Yet, we're consistently given images, which we should have no images other than word descriptions that the Bible gives us. We should not be creating images one way or the other. Nobody is better than anybody else, so I'm not saying that just because it looks more like me. What I'm saying is we should not have tried to make anything look like us. When I say us, or if you're whatever color or whatever, you shouldn't have tried to make anything look like you. You should just go by the word. Let the word stand. Yeshua said, if you continue in his word, it's going to change you. It's going to set you free. But when you lie and you propagate a lie consistently, then there's going to be results and ramifications of those lies. You might treat people differently because of lies. You might get puffed up. I think that could be a problem on both sides. It could be a problem if somebody listens and said, "Yes, that's good. I'm glad Yahweh looks like me," or I'm in his image, because he says we're in his image and likeness. But that's not just the external color; it's the form, and also the likeness is we're acting like him. The likeness is just as important as the image, the outside, and so don't get it twisted. If you're in his form, and you're a man or a woman, and you're in his likeness, acting like Yahweh, or acting like Elohim, or God, the Most High God. That's why he put us here, to be in his image and likeness, and to subdue, to dominate, to have dominion, to be fruitful, to multiply, to be over this creation, to be in his image and likeness in this creation, like he is in his kingdom. We'll talk about that maybe a little bit. But anyway, I brought that up just because, and then there's one more. I want to turn to Daniel, the book of Daniel, chapter 10. Daniel chapter 10. Because again, we do things. I don't know why. People do the things they do, but they do. And Daniel chapter 10, and this is Daniel had a vision by the Tigris River, is what it says in the caption. Verse 1, in the 3rd year of Cyrus, king of Persia, a message was revealed to Daniel, who was called Belteshazzar. The message was true, and it concerned a great conflict, and the understanding of the message was given to him in a vision. In those days, I, Daniel, was mourning for 3 full weeks. I ate no rich food, no meat or wine entered my mouth. I did not anoint myself with oil until the 3 weeks were completed. On the 24th day of the 1st month, as I was standing on the bank of the great river, the Tigris, I lifted up my eyes, and behold, there was a certain man dressed in linen with a belt of fine gold from Uphaz around his waist. His body was like beryl, his face like the brilliance of lightning, his eyes like flaming torches, his arms and legs like the gleam of polished bronze. This is an angel, and his voice like the sound of a multitude. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because we make images of angels, of Yeshua, and we make them in our image, and we shouldn't be. We were created in his image. He wasn't created in our image. We were created in his image. And he said in Exodus 20, verse 4 and 5, he says, do not make any graven image, any image of the things that are in heaven or even under the earth. That would have been the demonic. Yet we do this. And then we do it wrong. We didn't even do it according to the scripture of the way he said they were. He said they were brown, basically. Yet we make them in a different image. Why? So that we can puff ourselves up, is what I believe. So I guess my question is, why do we depict angels? Even this Daniel showing what the angel looked like that appeared to him. And you can read the book, chapter 10, and see more of what was going on. But we depict angels as babies. They aren't babies. They're, what I'm saying is we lie through the visual as well. That's a lie. Making all these little babies and things like that, and then we change our theology. We're like, somebody dies, we say, oh, they just gained wings, or they're an angel. They are not an angel. Yeshua, when he came back, was not an angel. We're going to be like him. When we see him, we'll be like him. That's a lie. And if it's a lie, it's coming from the father of lies. So not only have we been lied to, we lie to ourselves and we propagate these lies. We make them babies, and angels babies, we make them white, and the Bible says what they look like. Didn't say to do anything about that color. He just uses color to describe, not to decide. And yet we, a lot of times because of the lies, we act on the lies instead of on the truth. This would be me. I always am not perfect. I shouldn't even say always. I try to let this be my practice, to let the Bible describe Yahweh's kingdom. I don't want to describe it myself. Yet we have people doing that all the time. And if it's built on a lie, or based on a lie, or based on falsehood and untruth, then it is a lie. No matter how much you want to believe it. Oh, I got a new angel in heaven now. You don't have a new angel in heaven. If they were born again, you have a believer in heaven. It says I think it's in Hebrews chapter 13. It does say that, let me turn to that. Okay, it's chapter 12, I believe. I believe it's chapter 12. Yeah, it says, therefore, since we are surrounded by such a great cloud of witnesses, let us throw off every encumbrance and the sin that so easily entangles, and let us run with endurance the race set out for us. That's based on what went before in Hebrews chapter 11, when they're talking about the what a lot of people call the hall of faith. All the people they were talking about that were in faith, walking in faith, all the ancestors and people that the former Israelites, and how they walked in faith. Again, does that mean that they actually can see us? I don't know. But that's what this is talking about. So it's not talking about that they're now angels, which we like to talk about Yahweh's kingdom and to make it fit our paradigm. And I think he's a lot wiser and knowledgeable than we are. And I would rather let him describe his paradigm to me, or his kingdom, the universe where he resides from. I would rather him describe it than me try to, based on my limited understanding and wisdom, to try to tell other people that this is what his kingdom is like. It's got all this stuff. I go by what his word says. Anyway, I think it's a good practice because his word is truth. And we've been talking about the lies. And I hope I showed you some things that have been visual lies that have been visual that we've then tried to I guess build a whole society and culture off of a lie, which helps and propagates one group of people over another, which really makes no sense. I believe if Yahweh sets you up, it says in promotion comes from him in Psalm 75. Promotion, if you need to be set up, let Yahweh be doing the one setting you up above something, and not through your own works and machinations. Anyway, I hope you got something out of this. I wasn't trying to preach, but I really was trying to teach and to share a few things and show that a lie doesn't just have to be something we hear. A lie can be something that we see as well. And so how are we to act? We're to act the way the word says, which is to love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, and soul, and to love your neighbor as yourself. Not to put yourself above someone else, because Yahweh or God is no respecter of persons. He loves us all, and he's into relationships. He has more value on relationship than religion. That's why Yeshua told him, he said, listen, man was not made for the Sabbath. The Sabbath was made for man, because of the relationship, he wanted us to, because of how he cared about us, he wanted us to have that rest. Anyway, Yah bless you, and and shalom.